Hi, I'm Dave Deacon and welcome to OKLApreneur. If you're interested in building a business in our great state and want to learn from Oklahomans who have done it, you're in the right place. The National Coffee Association says more than 60% of us have a cup of coffee every day. Coming up, we'll learn how one man's knowledge of coffee and his hometown of Muskogee would wind up being the perfect blend.
There was not a coffee shop in Muskogee at the time. You know, people in Muskogee, they saw businesses come in and leave in a year's time, not really stay, and we wanted to change that mentality.
OKLApreneur is made possible by these sponsors who believe in growing Oklahoma through small businesses.
We are Oklahoma's electric cooperatives, powering the needs of new generations with safe, affordable, reliable, and environmentally responsible power.
Coffee is more than just a brewed liquid in a cup. There's a warmth that comes with every drink and every experience with the person making it. Join me in learning from an OKLApreneur who came back to his hometown to take part in a resurgence of small businesses and to start so many people's day with a warm feeling that has grown into a mainstay. Wilks of Erly Rush in Muskogee.
This location actually is kind of back to the start of things. Back in 2012, we actually opened 2 doors down, and this is a bigger space for us, and we really wanted to come back to our hometown and especially the downtown and really try to help build up because there's a lot of momentum happening in our downtown.
And a lot of times with momentum, you can either be in front of the wave, on top of the wave, or behind the wave, and you're kind of in front of the wave right now.
Yes. We see a lot of action happening between landlords of buildings and tenants, and then also our city.
Why did you choose to come back to Muskogee?
It's my hometown. I kind of felt like pushed to come back because I wanted to. But also at the same time, I saw that there was nothing here. There was not really much happening as of economic growth. We really wanted to be the starting point for that. Me and my family, we decided to buy the buildings and really spearhead an economic growth in downtown Muskogee.
Tell me about why you chose to start a coffee shop as opposed to any other type of retail business.
It is very simple. It's the only thing I knew at the time. I knew it well. I had basically worked for a coffee shop in Texas. I loved it. I loved the atmosphere of it. I love that it is a growing field. It is constantly growing. You see coffee shops popping up left and right. And I felt like it would be something that I could take on and really run with it.
At the time that you started, tell me about the coffee shop scene in Muskogee.
There was none. There was not a coffee shop in Muskogee at the time. What's funny enough is I was told, you're going to open up a coffee shop in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and I said, yeah. And they said, all right, well, when pigs fly. And so a couple of years later, my aunt brings me an actual wooden flying pig.
Oh, wow.
And so we actually have that in the coffee shop, and we keep it here. Just remember that, you know, people in Muskogee, they saw businesses come in and leave in a year's time, not really stay, and we wanted to change that mentality.
How have you been able to stay around for so long?
You grow, you learn. You really kind of change with the times. You have to see where it's headed and how you can get there. But it's been a learning curve for me, but you just try to figure out the best way that you can do for your customers. You try to be the best that you can be, and then they will just follow.
Once a business starts to take off, some owners begin to think about how they're going to expand. For Nicholas, that may be replicating what has worked well for him.
I believe that the next step to Erly Rush is expanding product, but also at the same time expanding into a franchise with our drive-through locations. I would also like to help with revitalizing other downtowns as well and being able to help with that. But my biggest thing is to help expand the Erly Rush brand by franchising out our drive-throughs.
So many coffee shops are built on the environment of the comfort, the friendliness. Talk about how you've created that here and been able to maintain that over the years.
Customer service. Customer service by far.
Right.
You have to have a good customer service. Your customers definitely are, coming in, spending the money. You want good quality service, good quality product.
Right.
That is one thing that I hear most of all in our drive-through location on York Street. They are always about, man, I love that they're full of smiles.
Right.
They're so happy. They know my drink, and the customer service is great.
How did you make that leap to the second location being the drive-through?
You just jump.
Right.
I mean, you really just jump all in for it. It was a big leap for me. It was a leap personally on me, financially, but also I was young. I was single. I was like, if I'm going to do it, now's the time to do it. And so I took the big leap, and you just got to go with it.
Right.
Especially if you believe in it.
Yep.
If you believe that it's going to be a success, it will be.
Whenever you started out, take me back to, okay, I want to do a coffee shop, but I need equipment. How am I going to select my equipment? Did you go find refurbished equipment, or did you just go online and I want that one and I want that one, or how'd you do it?
The equipment, you do your research. I definitely did my research. I dug in and tried to find not only the best equipment, but the best people that knew about the equipment.
Right.
Once you have a good team that knows what they're doing when it comes to equipment, I could definitely jump on board on that. A lot of refurbished equipment starting off.
Right.
I started off with a Italian espresso machine, and then grew to a Seattle-based
Right.
Espresso machine that was maybe a little bit cheaper,
Yeah.
but definitely worth what we needed, and so we were able to expand and grow. I don't recommend brand new right out of the gate. It's just, especially if you're starting from nothing, you start refurbished and work your way up, and so that's what we did.
So you started a few doors down from where we are right now. Walk me through that timeline whenever you said, okay, we have that location, we're going to do the drive-through, okay, we're going to close the first location, and then where we are right now.
I was very passionate about my second location. A lot of people thought I was losing my mind, honestly, because I built it out of shipping containers. And it was a very nervous time because I was very passionate, but at the same time I questioned what I was doing.
Right.
Because I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going really deep in here.
Right.
People are questioning how I build it.
Right.
The city even was a little question about it. They weren't quite sure, but once I jumped in, now people think it's the coolest thing.
One of the most challenging things about starting a business is knowing all of the licenses and permits. And that's not only on the state level, but every county and city may have their own requirements for having a business in their jurisdiction. Luckily, Nicholas had a network of business owners to help him.
That was a learning curve for me. I really had to lean on a couple of business owners for that. I really just had to kind of do my research. I spoke to my parents even on it and tried to figure out, okay, so what do I do here? My mother has owned a couple of businesses in her past. Right. And worked alongside with my grandmother a couple of times. And so I just kind of leaned on them and did my research. Right. But no one teaches you that. And that's the tough part, and that's a learning curve.
I have to ask, where did Erly Rush, the name, come up?
Erly was my grandmother. It was a nickname that I gave her a long time ago. She was late to everything, so I don't know where I got it, but Erly was a name that just came to me. I went across a couple of times on figuring out what name to finish it with.
Right.
But one Thanksgiving, we were all sitting down as a family, and someone was leaving in a hurry, and they said, "Why are you leaving in such a rush?" And I was just like, boom,
bam,
light bulb, Erly Rush, it's gotta be. And it just stuck. And the funny thing about it is, everyone says, I'm going to Erly Rush, I'm going to Erly Rush.
Yeah.
And it just clicks. And to me, it's like one cup of coffee is sharing the joy and happiness of my grandmother to every single one of my customers.
What advice would you have for any Oklahoman looking at starting a business anywhere in the state?
The advice that I would give to other entrepreneurs would be that if you believe in what you want to do is going to be a success, passion will drive you, and you will find a way to answer all the questions that you have. I believe that being the best at what you do will bring customers in. Work hard every single day. It is not easy at all. I think my biggest challenge would be starting a business and then being able to step away and being able to start a family, be able to give the control over just a little bit. That was probably the hardest thing for me, was to be able to step away and secure the customer service, make sure that it's going to be the same customer service as if I was there, and the same amount of passion in that cup was made by another person, just as if I was making it.
How have you been able to do that to ensure that it's the same quality of product here, but at your other location, regardless of time of day?
I think the thing that I've learned over the years, that was hard for me to learn, but I think it all goes on training. But when you train your employees, you share your passion with your employees. You share that with them, that it's not just a cup of coffee. It is your livelihood, it's our livelihood, it's the community. We're doing it to help our community. And one of the things that I really do in my training is I really push customer service. And then after customer service, I let them know that it needs to stay the same. No matter who made it, it's the best.
If you mentioned that, and I think of some franchises that hold half partnership. So basically, you would own it, but then someone would go in half on a location or half on another location, and that's one way that the original franchisor has been able to ensure that quality stays the same through there, and that works sometimes. Other times it doesn't. The franchisee gets frustrated and, well, I put my money up here and I'm running it, but you're telling me how it works. But it does come down to the training and the quality assurance in that.
Yes, I totally agree with bringing your crew together and really who you hire and who you bring in, and let them know that, hey, this is not just a job. It's a livelihood. It's a team, and we want everything to succeed.
What's the one thing that you wish you would have known whenever you first started out? What's the one thing that could lead into 12 things?
Oh, there's quite a bit of things that I wish I could have went back and told my younger self. Yeah. But I think one of the things, I probably wouldn't regret anything. I don't think I would regret anything, because I've learned from every choice that I've made. And it's changed me as a person, as a boss, as an entrepreneur. Right. But I think one of the big things is to slow down and enjoy it. Really slow down, enjoy it, and take it easy. And because before long you look back and you're like, wow.
Special thanks to Nicholas Wilks of Erly Rush in Muskogee. If you'd like to hear Nicholas's entire interview, including how they built their second location from a shipping container, and why that turned out to be the perfect way for them to expand their business, check out the OKLApreneur podcast on our website, OKLApreneur.com. OKLApreneur is made possible by our sponsors like the Oklahoma Association of Electric Cooperatives, and we sincerely appreciate their belief in the impact small businesses have on the growth of Oklahoma. Until next time, I'm Dave Deacon. Let's get down to business, Oklahoma.